Hi, friends. How are you? Am I too close? I think I'm okay. So this week we're gonna be talking about all about psychic tools. I love my tools. Yes, I do. Um, People like me love our tools, but heads up, the magic is not in the tool. The magic is always in you. Okay, this is really important to remember. It's always you. But the tools, well, they're fun. They're fun and they can facilitate communication with the spirit realm. Okay. So this week, I'm going to show you not only my favorite tools, how to use them or not, and some to stay away from. Okay. So if you've been working with me for a while, or if you've been around in this, I think I'm too close. I'm going to back up a little bit. There you go. If you've been in this group for a while, you've heard me say this before. I love tarot. Tarot was my first love. I love tarot. Um, so if you are, I've been working with tarot for a long time. It was my first love, and I have a lot of them. And if you, that's all tarot and oracle cards. I have a lot of them. Um, but if you are a beginner, I recommend you use the original Rider-Waite White Tarot. This one right here, okay? This is because you want to learn the original meaning of the cards with the original illustration, okay? When I was learning tarot, I could see the illustration, the picture of the card in my head, and that would help me to remember the meaning of the card. When you get comfortable with tarot and you are comfortable remembering the meaning of the cards, then you can, by all means, I mean, you do whatever you want to do, but that's my recommendation. After you're comfortable, then you can, do other things because there's hundreds and hundreds of different tarot that have a lot of them, but one of my favorites is this one. It's the Dungeons and Dragons tarot. Okay, why I like this? I'm not sure. Well, it shuffles like a dream. But I think the other thing I like this so much is because I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. Not the very first thing. I know it's a game, and that's about all I know about it. Of course, I'm sure it's about Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't know anything about it. So I don't have any information about the story of this game. So I love it because the illustrations are fabulous, are just so beautiful. And so I have to use my intuition because I don't know. I mean, I sometimes it's even hard for me to say, what card is that? So it really allows the card to speak to me. And like I said, it shuffles like a dream. It shuffles like a dream. And it was that deck wanted me to have it because I opened Amazon one day. It came up and it was in the pre-order. It was like the day before it came out. And I just very impulsively ordered it. And I love it. I love it. I've had it for years. Um, all right. I would recommend staying away from those beginner um decks that has all the information of the card, the meaning of the card on the card. Because first of all, sometimes they have not just the meaning, but the, astrology and the numerology and the chakras and it's just very overwhelming, all the information on the card. Okay, that's the first thing. But the second thing is that this may become easy for you, but it's not going to be helpful to you in the learning process. Okay, it's just a crutch. It's just a crutch. So, and do you really, if you're gonna pay me for a reading, do you want me to take a card and read it? And what? No, no. You you don't want me to read the information. You want me to know, and you want me to be intuitive and channel the message for you, right? So this is just a crutch and it's not going to help you in the learning process. The way I teach tarot, you will be able, I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve, and you're going to be able to start reading almost immediately, like almost immediately. It's going to take you time to learn all the meanings of the cards, but the way I teach it, you're going to be able to, you know, start doing readings almost immediately, like within the first couple days. So if anyone is interested in learning intuitive tarot with me, hit me on my DMs. We'll talk about it, okay? In the same wavelengths of the tarot, they're oracle cards. Something that people ask me all the time, what's the difference between tarot and oracle? Well, easy. Tarot has a very established structure, okay? Very established structure. There's 78 cards. End of story, okay? Some decks throw in a card or two extra, which is fine. But tarot has 78 cards, okay? In total. You have the major arcana, which are these cards right here. The Fool, the Magician, the Empress, blah, 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 blah. The High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, okay? And then you have the minor arcana, the pip cards, the ones that go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? There are 4 suits, the cups, the pentacles, the swords, and the wands. And they go from 1 to 10. And then you have the court cards, which are the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings. Okay, that's tarot. All right. And even though they may have different illustrations, every card means the same. Okay, basically in its core. Now, if you put something, different illustrations in the card, that is going to impact, but the core of what the card means is going to be the same throughout. Okay, that's tarot. People call tarot and then they have a different structure. That's not tarot. Okay, that doesn't mean that it's not valuable. I'm not saying that. Okay, it's just not tarot. Tarot has a structure. That's the big difference. Now, oracle can have any illustration, any meaning, any amount of cards. They're fantastic, okay? And I have just a couple here because, like I said, I have a lot. But, for example, this is Wisdom of the Oracle from Colette Baron Reid. I have a lot of her decks. They're fantastic. And this one has 52 cards, 52 cards. So that's, her choice. And most oracle cards have words, okay? They also have numbers, which I also use in the numerology of the card, and of course the colors. And so I teach you all about that. And that's how you read these cards. I also have here, this is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I also have, I think, all of her decks. They're fantastic. And also her illustrations are more abstract. And also, like I said, they usually have some kind of meaning on the card and a number. I don't think this has a number. But anyhow, so those are 2 examples of oracle cards. So when you're choosing an oracle card, just whatever calls to you, just like tarot. But if you're a beginner, try the Rider Waite first. So you'll learn from the original tarot cards, okay? So if you're using Oracle cards, I highly recommend you read the book that comes with the deck. First, because the author put a lot of time and effort into it. And I think it's important to honor that, okay? Because that's part of the energy of the deck, right? And I have all of my books right here. All of them. All of the little books. But also because you're gonna get a feeling for what that particular deck was intended for. You know, each deck, the author had, okay, we're gonna talk about angels, so we're gonna talk about past life, or we're gonna talk about um I don't know, your path in this incarnation, but with a certain feeling about it, with a certain energy. And you're going to get that information when you read the book. So I would highly recommend that. But it's definitely not necessary, not absolutely necessary for you to read it. You can read, the cards intuitively. Um, but that's my recommendation. So another fun deck of cards are the Zener cards, okay, for ESP testing. So these cards have different shapes in them, okay? And I use this a lot with my students, especially with the kids, okay? I teach kids. I teach tarot to kids. I teach psychic development to kids. And they love it because it's a game. I shuffle all the cards and I take out 10, and we're supposed to guess the shape before looking at the card right there, right? And whoever gets the most shapes wins the game. And the kids love beating me, and they do it often. But it's a lot of fun. And you can do this on your own. You can test yourself, which is fun. You can use it with a friend, you can use it with your kids, you can, so those are fun. The other tool that I use almost on the daily are pendulums, okay? Pendulums come in different shapes and forms. They usually have a crystal on them. So you can really pick the crystal that you love, or the crystal that when you're looking at them that really calls on you, okay? So this was my very first pendulum. I've had it for I'm not going to tell you how many years, but for a long, long time. And I like it because it has all the chakra colors, right? It's a beautiful pendulum. Then I have like 6 of them. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I'm going to show you some of them. This was a gift from one of my kids. And it's not, there you go. And I like it because you can open it up. You can open it up, and it came with 5 or 6 crystals. Okay. So you can change the crystal that goes inside of it. Fabulous. I love it. Okay. This particular crystal is a little different. It's more like, I don't know. More like crafty, I want to say. And it's an amethyst, and I love amethyst. This one I keep, this particular one I keep in my traveling altar. Okay. And if you guys are interested in how to put together a traveling altar, let me know. I'll be happy to do a video on that. It's very easy, and it's a lot of fun. All right. Now, this is probably I love you all, my favorite pendulum. I love it. There you go. Okay. So how do you use pendulums? Well, pendulums are used usually for yes and no questions. But you can use it for more. And I did not bring out the chart, but you can get, and this is not it, right? This is where my mouse goes. But it's something like that, it's round and has like letters and has numbers and has, stuff, information. And you read it like that. It's really hard to do. Okay, it's really hard to do. First of all, because it's very small and the movement of the pendulum, you're not sure where it's going. So if you're gonna do that, I would do just not a round one. There's a lot of round ones. I would use a half a moon one because the pendulum goes up and down. So you're like, are you showing up or are you showing down? It gets complicated. And make it big. If you can do it yourself, like out of cardboard, I bought a beautiful piece of wood, and my husband said that he was gonna carve it for me. Let's move on. So you can do it on cardboard and do it big. So, you really see where the pendulum is going. But the way I use the pendulum is just to answer yes, no, maybe, or undecided. Okay. And I'm going to show you what I do. First of all, you have to give it your energy. Okay. And this doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be overnight. It doesn't, well, you can put it under your pillow, but I do it in 30 seconds. Okay. So I kind of hold it close to my heart, with my hands like that. And I imagine my energy flowing towards the pendulum, and that is sufficient. Okay. And then you want to calibrate your pendulum. Okay. And what does that mean? It means it needs to show you for it specifically where it's yes, no, maybe, or undecided. Okay. So we're going to do that. Now I have calibrated all my pendulums to say the same thing. Why? Because I was going insane using different pendulums trying to remember which one went where. Okay. So I told them, guys, this is what we're going to do to make my life easier. But if you just have one, you can just calibrate it and let the pendulum tell you how it's going to answer you. Okay, so for me, the pendulum says yes, towards me, like that. No, the other way around. And maybe it's counterclockwise, and undecided is maybe it's clockwise, and undecided is counterclockwise. Okay, so let's see. Now, usually you want to put your elbow on the table. I'm going to lift my elbows because I need to show the camera what I'm doing. Okay, but you want to rest your elbow on the table and just kind of let it hang. Some people wrap it around their finger like that once or twice. They say it keeps it more stable. I haven't seen any different, but that's just me. You do what's more comfortable for you. Okay. So, and then I just grab the little ball and let it swing. Okay. And what I do is I ask the question and I put my hand to stabilize it and then let go my hand and let it do its thing. Okay. And I'm going to show you how it changes direction on its own. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start. And this is the way I start, just to test it. Okay. I always say, this is my name. And are you from the light? But you can go show me a yes, show me a no. Okay. So let's do that. Show me a yes. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna show you how it changes directions on its own. Show me a no. Boom. There you go. I love it. I love my pendulums. Okay. So yeah, those are the pendulums. Thank you. And you always want to thank them. Thank you. Thank you for the information that you're giving me. All right. Something that never leaves my table is my sound bowl. This was another gift. I have a lot of gifts for my kids. They are so wonderful. So it has a little base and it sits on top, right? And what you do is you want to hit it and then go around. That really does something to me. I mean, it really does. And a sound bowl, you can use for meditation, but you can definitely use it to clean your space. Okay. I like to use it before I start working, before I start doing mediumship, or before I do a meditation if I'm here, if I'm gonna teach a class. I just the vibrations are fantastic. Okay. Um, so the other thing that I always have with me are candles. Um, of any kind, shape, form. I like to have candles lit because I want to represent the light in my space. Okay. So when it's not lit right now because I'm gonna pick it up. But I have candles like this, and when I'm done, I either blow it out or close it. Now, people are gonna be like, "You never blow out." No, you never blow out a candle that you're doing witchcraft with. Okay, but a candle that's used to signify the light, absolutely, because you're not gonna walk away and leave a candle lit. Okay. Even candles that you're doing witchcraft with, you don't want to walk away. Like if I'm doing witchcraft and I know that the candle is going to take several hours and I'm not going to be in this office, I take it with me and I put it like in the countertop or whatever, where I'm going to be, so I can keep an eye on it. Okay. Now, so if you're using like a 7-day candle for witchcraft, you want to tell the universe, I'm gonna, let you go for right now because safety is first, and I will light you up, and it's perfectly fine. Okay. All right. So candles, and then incense. I have a lot of different incense. I have a box here full of different incense. And I have, the little incense that, all kinds, all kinds. I'm always lighting something up. And of course, the smudging tools. Okay. So I normally have dragon's blood. I love this thing. And I have Palo Santo. Okay. Now, what I do is have a little plate with cat litter, clean cat litter. Okay. We have cats, so I got a little bit of cat litter, and that's just when I'm done using it, I just put it like that and it goes off immediately. So I do have sage, okay? And you have to be careful with close practices. And sage, some people say Palo Santo is close practice. It's not, okay? Sage, white sage. Other kinds of sage are not. White sage is a close practice, but I had this for the longest time. And I thought it was gonna be disrespectful to throw it away. Okay. So I haven't. And I haven't used it, but I have it. And the way I solved that issue is I got in communication with, you know, the elders, and I told them, in meditation, I didn't know about close practices, and I have this, and when I use it, it's with the utmost respect. And they told me that I was fine. Okay. So that's the way I solved that. But since I haven't purchased anymore white sage, other sages, yes, but white sage is a close practice. Of course, I have all kinds of crystals, not just in my pendulums, but there's crystals everywhere in my house, like everywhere. The other thing that I use, and that's why there's an empty space, because that's where this sits. It's a crystal ball. I love it. My crystal ball. If you're interested in learning how to use a crystal ball, I don't know what size this is, but this is a good size. Okay. You don't want something humongous, which is super expensive too, but you don't want something really little, and you don't want something opaque, right? You want something that you can see through. Okay. But let me tell you, you need a lot of patience. A lot of patience and a lot of practice to learn how to use it. Okay. But if you want to try, what I do recommend is put on a timer, and the first few sessions don't do more than 5 minutes. Okay. And you kind of look at it. You have to make sure, like right now, I can see the reflection of some of the lights that I have in the room, and you don't want to see that. Okay. You want it to be completely, there's gonna be reflections, but not from light. You as much as you can not to see any reflection of any object or any light on the crystal ball. And then you kind of relax your gaze. So you kind of are gonna look at it. What I do is I close my eyes and I really relax my eyes, and then I open them, but barely, okay? And I stare at it, and I just ask, to the spirits to show me something. And it's gonna take some time, okay? So don't do it for more than 5 minutes, because your eyes are gonna get really, really tired, really tired. And you do it a couple times every day, 2 or 3 times, 4 times for 5 minutes. And as soon as you start seeing something, it's gonna be like almost like ghostly figures, like cloudy figures. Then you can start increasing your time, okay? And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, but it takes a long, long time, okay? It takes a long time. Last but not least, of the things that I use very, very often are the rods. I love the rods. And my group loves the rods. They ask me for the rods all the time. Okay. This have been popularized on TikTok lately, but these have been in use for hundreds of years. Okay. And you also want to, kind of calibrate them. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're holding it. The rods have like a little cylinder here. You don't want to hold it here to, impact in any way the move of the rod, okay? So you want your hand to be like that. So it's not touching the rod in any way, okay? So it moves freely. So you want to say, so you wait, I wait for them to stay. There you go. And then I ask, are you from the light? When they cross in front of you, it's yes. Thank you. And then I say, is my name Yari? Yes. Thank you. Is my name Bob? Nope. Thank you. There you go. So I always do that. I always ask if they're from the light, and I always ask something that's clearly a yes and a no, like my name right and my name wrong. And I usually use a different gender, but sometimes I use a girl name that's a different name. They have never failed me. So there you go. Those are the tools that I use the most. But all this week, we're going to be talking about tools, about, to do mediumship, to do divination, for cleansing, to all kinds of tools. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you have questions, if there's tools that you use or you want to use that I have not mentioned, let me know. We can go down that rabbit hole. Okay. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the group.